would it be helpful to experience the jhanas so that you can help a meditator to move beyond blocks? It would probably be helpful in order to teach, but not necessary. You can actually, when there is no teacher around who can teach you the jhanas, or better even vipassana meditation, you can take everything as the teacher. And the Buddha, as far as I remember, mentioned once that teachers can be more experienced than the pupil, can be equally experienced, or can even be less experienced, and still the student can learn from them. And I learned so much from ants, for example, and they might not have attained any jhanas, so it's not necessary.
There's a lot of questions like this, and I think the underlying source of the questions is that people really want to learn the jhanas, because they think there's something great to them, and ooh, how mystical and magical it might be. And yeah, they are great and they are mystical and magical, but what I think you find the more you practice vipassana, the more you practice meditation and the more clearly you see reality, really the less enticing any such things become. And the idea of whether you need to experience them to explain them, I think is pretty is invalid. What you need to explain things is an understanding of how reality works, and the jhanas are just another part of reality. Jhanas are not something. They're not really something mysterious or incredible. It's just a state where the mind is focused, where the mind is fixed, where the mind is secluded from the hindrances. And that's just a mind state. It can last for some time. You can develop it. You can go on to develop any number of crazy things. You can have magical powers, remember your past lives, and so on. But the best way to understand all of these things and to be able to talk and to teach about them is to understand reality, to practice the simple meditation to understand the building blocks. Because that's really the key. Once you understand what makes up experience and how experience works and how cause and effect works, then none of those things are mysterious or hard to understand or really at all enticing. So, directly answer your question, I don't think it's necessary. I could help anyone who'd practice the jhanas without having I shouldn't talk exactly about myself, but I've had quite a bit of experience with meditators and with people and learning how the mind works and so on. So I don't feel like I would ever need to train myself in the jhanas in order to help someone who experienced them and was having a block with them or so on. What you do often get is a strong attachment to peace and to tranquil states of mind, and that's quite difficult to train someone out of. Those a person who has practiced Samatha meditation intensively can be quite difficult to wean off of it, especially if it was in a different religious tradition. So if they had practiced meditation in Hindu tradition, for example, which has different goals and ideas, or even Buddhist meditation where people practice tranquility and they like the state of calm that they attain, can be quite difficult to wean them off of it. But that has not, weaning them off of it has nothing to do with knowledge of the jhanas at all. It has to do with knowledge of people's attachments and views about what is true happiness, about what is self, about trying to control and letting go and so on, about impermanence, that these states are not permanent, as the Buddha said, that the jhanas and any kind of pleasant or even neutral feeling is not permanent, and none of those things require you to have attained the jhanas yourself.